So each soldier will be expected to live on the ground and survive on almost no support for a protracted period of time.
Right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. All right, so today we are checking out a video about the British Pathfinders. Now, I'm pretty excited for this one because I love checking out Pathfinder videos. We've been checking out a lot of Pathfinder videos recently, but there's not that many videos about the British Pathfinders on YouTube. But this one is from BFBS Creative, and they do some really solid stuff, so I know the quality is going to be on point. Now, the title of this is Pathfinders Lead NATO Air Assault into the Balkans. So it looks like they're supporting the 16th Air Assault Brigade Combat Team, which I'm not too familiar with, but hopefully this video gives us a little more information about that unit as well, and sort of how the Pathfinders actually support these units. Because like the montage videos and whatnot are cool, but seeing like an exercise where the Pathfinders actually get to support it, you can see everything coming into play as far as them establishing these drop zones, them being dropped themselves, and of course them doing the whole reconnaissance aspect of everything. So it should be cool. Let's check it out. What kind of aircraft is that? That's a sick shot though. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder how big of a team these guys are going to be dropping in with. I mean, imagine it's probably going to be pretty small teams for the Pathfinders. Nice shots. Is this all from that same exercise? Because if so, that's pretty freaking sweet. And these guys look high speed. What, does he have a C8 or something?
The Pathfinders are one of the UK's most elite military units. For many years, they never officially existed. Only the most tenacious soldier can become a Pathfinder. These men operate beyond the reach of conventional forces. They are revered by our adversaries, and for good reason.
What I'm looking for them is a very...
Again, for a unit like this, you want really, really squared away people because they're going to be operating in small teams, and the responsibility that they have just doing what they're doing, actually going behind enemy lines, going before the entire formation, so they're going to have very minimal supports. And then, of course, doing that valuable reconnaissance and setting up these drop zones to allow the actual formation to insert and establish a foothold into a certain area. It's a pretty big responsibility, and you want people that you can rely on to get that job done, or else you're not going to have access to certain areas.
High ability to work independently. I need them to be extremely mature.
Nice.
I need them to be intelligent, and they've got to be robust because they could be forward for many days on their own, living on their wits, able to send target information back to us, from which we can then do brigade level planning.
Nice.
At 18,000 feet, a small team of Pathfinders prepare to parachute into NATO's newest member state, North Macedonia. Their motto is first in, as they pave their way ahead for 16 Air Assault Brigade, who will join them in the heart of the Balkans.
Nice.
The Pathfinders avoid radar detection using an insertion skill called Halo, high altitude, low opening. Using this method, they can deploy anywhere in the world, deep behind enemy lines.
On Exercise Swift Response, they received orders in the UK, and a few hours later were inserting into North Macedonia from the C-17 at 18,000 feet. And that is a genuine capability that we can rapidly push out, and within hours they can be sending data on the enemy back to our headquarters.
That's short notice.
8,000 British troops deployed across Europe, the largest mass movement since the days of the Cold War.
That was all at once.
Part of the exercises, 2,500 airborne troops head for North Macedonia to test their combat agility, lethality, and ability to project as a global force.
So that's near Greece, it looks like. Yeah, I did not know that I didn't know, I'm going to be honest, I didn't know North Macedonia was a country. But I definitely didn't know that they were a NATO country. So if you guys are from there, definitely let me know how it is. Definitely let me know a little bit more about the military. And if you have some videos I could react to, that would be pretty sweet. But we're going to get a good feel for the terrain and whatnot, and maybe even some of the military in this video. But yeah, it looks like some pretty interesting terrain to actually be jumping in on, especially when these guys are coming from the UK. I mean, it looks pretty mountainous, so it might be kind of similar in some regards, but probably a little bit more arid.
This is what being a paratrooper is all about.
We might have a period of days where we don't have resupply, where we don't have the benefits of force protection around us.
It's rough.
So each soldier will be expected to live on the ground and survive on almost no support for a protracted period of time. And that means they've got to be physically strong, and it means that they've got to be mentally tough, and they've got to be really innovative so that they do survive off the land.
Innovative is a cool way to say that, especially with recon. Like, you never know what's going to happen. You'll come across some really crazy stuff. You'll even come into contact every now and again. And yeah, you need some really solid people to be able to respond to that crazy stuff on the fly and make some good decisions so you can maintain that longevity, because it's not just like, oh crap, like, yeah, they saw us, we can bounce. These guys are getting pushed pretty far and they don't have any sort of support mechanism. So that is definitely where they differ from what I did. Even with recon, we pushed out, but it wasn't more than like, you know, maybe 20 clicks. So the possibility for us to get extracted or what have you, or at least get aid, was somewhat there. For these guys, yeah, that's not a thing.
Ourselves in this airborne environment really brings out some of the strongest traits of being a paratrooper. Their initiative, once they've landed, their ability to find and engage and close with the enemy, and also their resourcefulness with very limited supplies helps set them apart from everyone else.
Nice shots.
So I think there's absolutely a mindset amongst air manoeuvre high readiness troops, and part of that is about a relentless will to win. Part of it is about shared experience of jumping out of planes, and part of it is about a real primacy on physical fitness and mental robustness.
Hell yeah. I like the use of the word
terrain
robust.
is harsh out here. The weather is hard, and showing that they've got that gut,
nice,
the physical ability to step up to the plate and keep going forward no matter what the hour is. I mean, that has been really impressive to see, that those young lads are stepping up and showing what 16 Air Assault Brigade is all about.
Hell yeah.
Parachuting is just how we get there. You know, whether we parachute, whether we step off the back.
Yeah, that dude looks like he has been there and done that many times.
Helicopter, whether we step off the back of a truck or whether we come out of a white minibus, none of that matters. What we do from there to the objective and on the objective is what counts, and that's what makes us paratroopers. The parachute bit's the easy bit.
Well
what
said.
I'm looking for in all the soldiers of 16 Brigade is the ability to survive and fight without resources for a long time, because I expect we will infill by parachute jump or by helicopter in front of where much of the conventional force will be. And what I think we get with our battle groups of 16 Brigade, such as 2 Para, is real potency and a real will to win.
Yeah.
This is Mayhem 6-5. This will be a Type 2 control bomb on target. I request 1 by Hellfire, Kilo 1 Alpha, followed by 30 Mike gun. Acknowledge and advise when ready for 9-9.
Nice, dude. I like the editing, especially the radio chatter. That's an interesting tripod setup. I like the hand tattoos as well. Nice rifle.
Tactical level, how we're able to layer what we call I-Star, so the eye in the sky, with fixed-wing aircraft, with helicopters, with troops on the ground, and bringing all those things together at a point of our choosing. And that really is what makes military power potent, when you can layer them together in the space and time of your own choosing.
Yeah, I forgot how there was a certain term that we had in the Marine Corps. It was like a certain series or something. But yeah, having that whole combined arms dilemma, as far as having a bunch of different elements, sort of not necessarily attacking the same objective, but having supporting objectives and having different effects. So when you're actually hitting the enemy from all these different angles with all these different kinds of effects, it gets very hard for them to predict what's going on and also, reorient everything quickly to be able to counterattack or even be able to defend appropriately to that level of attack, just because of how many layers you're actually adding onto it. That's why it's called the combined arms dilemma. It really puts them in a tough spot. Man, those helicopters are so cool. All right, looks like they're marking it for a little drop zone action. Is that the extract?
So I think
then,
that
maybe?
Exercise Swift Response has been an incredibly important training serial for us. 8 different nations, thousands of troops, projecting rapidly across Europe into complex terrain and against a tough enemy. And I think the exercise has shown the 16 Air Assault Brigade is ready to deploy, fight and win at very short notice.
Yeah. Very military speak.
The war in Ukraine poses a very real threat along NATO's eastern border. An attack on one member country is an attack on all. It is essential now more than ever to test the response, capability, and interoperability to deter Russian aggression.
That's the biggest thing, working together. You need to have those repetitions because otherwise it gets really rough. And if you've worked with like a NATO country, if you've done like cross-training with another military, you know it can be very hard to get past some of those growing pains because just the tactics are going to be different. The equipment's going to be different. How you communicate is going to be different. All those small things, I mean, they're not really that small, but when you put all those things together, it seems like it might be easy. Okay, let's switch this up. But all that stuff together, it's like, it's very, very hard to go from never coordinating, never working together to being able to smooth all that stuff out. So, of course, doing it before anything crazy kicks off is obviously going to be ideal. So you can smooth a lot of that out. And again, it's lessons learned. So you can take these lessons and sort of, make a record of them. So this is something that we saw that was an issue. So in the future, if you're going to work with a country that does something similar, you can sort of predict what the issues might be. So you don't even have to deal with that stuff. You can kind of plan ahead around it. But yeah, this was pretty sweet. Now, again, I like seeing the Pathfinders actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. As opposed to like montage videos are cool and we got a good shot of their kit and whatnot and some pretty cool cinematic camera angles, but it's really nice to get a good feel for how they actually fit in with everybody else because you really start to understand how important their job is because again, they are the people that are going to allow this bigger echelon or this larger force to actually move in because otherwise, you can move in as much as you want, but it's going to be rough moving into terrain that you've never seen before. And these guys are something more than just a normal reconnaissance. They can actually establish those drop zones and hold them to make sure and walk the aircraft onto that specific area. But definitely a solid video. Of course, let me know what you guys think about the video down in the comment section. If you guys have any personal experience working with Pathfinders or even working in the Pathfinders, let me know how it was. Let me know how beneficial that actually was. And let me know how it sort of shaped how you did your planning and everything. Because again, I've been infantry and I've also been reconnaissance. And I can say being infantry, I didn't really get a good appreciation for reconnaissance until I realized, okay, we wouldn't know half of this information if we didn't actually have people on the ground to confirm some information that we might have heard about. So yeah, recon is very important, and these guys take that a step further. So of course you need some very solid people. But if you guys have any other units to recommend, especially some air assault units, definitely throw some videos down below because that would be pretty sweet. And sort of helicopter-borne insertion stuff was what I loved. Even like landing the Ospreys and getting off and setting up the 180. It was pretty freaking fun. So if you guys have any air assault units, definitely throw them down below so I can check them out. Or you can head over to the Discord and I'll check them out there as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, hit that thumbs up, comment, and let me know what you guys think. And definitely consider subscribing. But I am finishing up this COVID that I've been having. So hopefully my voice starts to sound a little bit more normal. But yeah, hopefully it didn't interfere with the video too much. But that is it for this one. I will see y'all in the next one.